What's up, boyos?
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Chad, are you even
What up?
there?
I'm here.
Oh, you're there? Okay, just making sure.
Looks around.
Looks
Where
around.
am I actually?
The Derek look around.
Yeah,
Gosh.
classic Derek. Always before starting a joke. Hey everybody, welcome back to The Forecast, a bi-weekly podcast about everything games, film, and news. I'm Aaron Juno.
I'm Alex McCausland.
I'm Caleb Juno.
I'm Chad McCausland.
And I'm Frank Rice.
Oh yeah. On today's special episode that we're doing on a Tuesday, episode 192, Paul Atreides sees a narrow path, which Frank will mute for the entirety of that conversation. TikTok sees the beginnings of a ban in the U.S. House of Representatives, and the PS5 prospects are leaked. Leaked? Are they leaked or are they leaked, is the question. I think they might be leaked. We'll see. Helldivers also has still been uniting, or all Helldivers have been uniting under the flag of liberty and democracy and freedom. D&D celebrates 50 years, and of course, we've been playing some games. If you'd like to know more about what we do, you can follow us on our social channels. You can check out our website, WeAreTheHorizon.com, where we have a ton of original content for you to browse through, including our multi-arc Starfinder adventure, the Discordant Signal. Additionally, everything we talk about is in our cast notes, which is pushed out to whatever podcasting app you are using. All right, boys, let's get into it. I'm excited. Let's start off with a new segment brought to us by Chad. I'm very excited. He's been working really hard on this segment. Thank you for deleting that right while I was about to say it. Thank you. Appreciate that very much.
I was about to do
Our
the
new
same.
segment, which we're calling CCCP, or Chad's Community Conversation Primer, has nothing to do with anything else that would be labeled CCCP. Chad, would you like to intro this really complex and comprehensive
Oh yeah, this is
section you've been working on?
I think this is even harder than the V gig. Honestly, like developing this out every week.
Tough.
It's none of the work from us. It is definitely just we have a question portion on our site, so you can go there and ask questions, type them in, and if we actually look at our email, we'll toss it into this segment and we'll answer these questions. So yeah, it's a little primer. Get to know us a little better.
Okay. Do you want me to read the prime? You want me to read the question? You got it. I got it. Okay, you get it. You get it. I
right.
believe you.
All right, so this question from user numbered 98234
Steve
is
from Muncie, Indiana. asks.
Steve.
if you could have any fictional technology from a movie or TV show, what would it be and how would you use it?
Ooh. Any fictional technology from a movie or TV show?
Easy peasy.
Wow.
I also have an incredibly
I have
easy
an
answer.
answer. Yeah.
All right. What you got?
Go with Caleb first. What's up?
So in Star Trek Discovery, they
Oh, God.
slight spoilers, they jump into like the future or something. It's not that important. They get personal teleporters, personal transporters. Obviously, personal teleportation. You guys want to go out to eat? Yeah, beep beep. There. You guys want to play board? Beep, beep, in your house.
That seems a little
good.
bit too immediate. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need you just instantly jumping in my house when I text you. Well, we won't be texting if we have personal teleporters.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We'll have a
You
mind
just
link.
pop out to the front door and ring the doorbell.
You know, like, do you know how awkward your teenage years would be if, like, your parents could just, like, be like, all right, we're going out. See ya. And then they'd teleport back because they forgot something. And then, you know,
God.
You already have the lotion
True,
busted
true.
out.
you're just kind of doing stuff. I don't know. Could be doing kind of anything, but
Bedrooms need like an anti-teleportation.
I was about to say, I feel like
Thing.
houses
Field.
would have to have like port forwarding or something so that you can like, you have accessibility to
Port forwarding,
into the
that's
house.
good.
Yeah.
pull forward to my house.
I can't get to your house. I don't know why I can't get to your house. Oh, let me put forward.
outside.
Right.
Just up here next to Aaron, like, hey, you want to play Gloomhaven?
I would like instantly.
He
yes!
has lotion in hand.
I feel like then it's kind of like a vampire. Like you have to be invited in. Like it's weird.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good one. I also immediately thought of Star Trek, but different technology. The holodeck.
Oh,
It's so
holodeck.
good.
Here,
Mhm.
yeah. You know what? That's better.
You can do anything in the holodeck.
Yeah,
Replicators are pretty good.
they are. Yeah, man, I was thinking teleporter. You just teleport anywhere you want on Earth, but
It's so useful,
the
yeah.
holodeck
But the
can do more
holodeck,
than Earth.
I guess the holodeck is less communal than the teleporter.
Doesn't have to be.
I guess, yeah. Get everybody in your
They
holodeck.
do all sorts of stuff in the holodeck together. I mean, usually they get stuck in it, but
Yeah. It'd be an adventure.
I got so many options floating through my head.
I'm
I
listening.
don't know, like off the top, like a good Iron Man suit. That'd be good.
What are you gonna do with that?
fly around. Yeah.
Just fly around?
Yeah.
I guess.
He
Sure.
could also
Shoot
make that whole
stuff in
speech about how he's
uninhabited
Iron
areas.
Man now, because he's
Yeah.
Iron Man. I mean, he has the suit.
Yeah. I mean, I could go to like children's hospitals or like the Make-A-Wish Foundation and be like, I'm legit here. Like, do you want to go for a ride? The Millennium Falcon would be pretty good. Or like really any classic spaceship like Serenity.
Oh yeah.
Like the Starship Enterprise. It's too big though. Like
Yeah.
You can't
That's a
land
big
that
man.
anywhere.
that's a big crew.
Choosing a starship is kind of a cop-out. It's so much extra technology that comes along with it. The holodeck's on the Enterprise.
Yeah, so
Yeah, let's choose the Enterprise now. Got the transporters on there, ready to go.
That is true.
Really anything that'll let me fly. Because that always goes back to that question of like, if you could have a superpower, it'd be like flying. I want to fly.
Flying.
Teleporting cuts the fun out of it. It cuts the fun out of it because it's the journey that matters, not the destination.
I don't know.
Caleb.
You teleport 500 feet in the air and you just fall for a little bit, and you teleport over there 500 feet in the air.
No,
You're basically flying.
Is your momentum conserved after you teleport?
I sure hope not. Otherwise, there's no way to land.
Unless you teleport into space like really quick to.
But then you're just
Rest
stuck moving that fast.
Yeah.
I had an instant thought, but after you guys talking about Star Trek, I think I've come up with a better one. My instant thought was, if I could have any fictional technology, it would be those. I mean, we all know kaiju are coming at some point in our future.
Oh boy.
So mine would be to get those giant laser cannons, so that we can just kill kaiju from a distance instead of either building, giant powered mechs or building a giant seawall to protect us.
useless walls.
Yes.
You just want a super weapon. You want to fuel more war on the planet.
No,
No, man, this is America. This is defend my property.
No, I think the other thing that I thought of was when I think about like technology in the future, one of the cool things I like is watching shows where they have some sort of like almost out of body experience. The thing that I was drawn back to was when Picard experienced an entire lifetime with the civilization that after he was, I don't remember if he was poisoned or he ingested something, but he like lived an entire life.
Saw a satellite.
Is that what it was?
The satellite scanned his brain and then downloaded the message into his brain.
Yeah.
And he lived an entire life before he came back just moments later. I think that's wild. I also think Altered Carbon, the stacks and sleeves.
Oh yeah.
Like that concept
cool.
of like being able to experience life at different times, utilizing a device that allows you to pass between not only like durations of time, but also different bodies that you would sort of encompass or occupy.
I don't want anyone taking my consciousness out of my body, though.
That is pretty a weird part.
And then they have full control. They can choose not to put it in another one.
Don't you think if you're getting teleported, your consciousness is coming out of your body for a short period of time?
I mean, we're talking like
You're being atomized, my guy.
nanoseconds, maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah, the whole theory that because of quantum entanglement, anytime anybody transports on Star Trek, it's actually making a copy of them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, that's grim.
Yeah, very grim. Their old versions just gets deleted.
Yep.
You
What
guys ever
about you,
watch
Chad?
Clock Stoppers when you were a kid?
Oh, good
The
movie.
watch that can stop time.
Yeah.
Oh.
You're getting creepy now, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can
So-
see that smirk on your face.
Going off of the time stopping, one of the first things I thought of with this question isn't really necessarily technology, but can be argued that like, it's the base portion of how technology is made, but it's a mineral, it's the time stone. So you could just like turn back time whenever you want. Or go for it. You could just go through time.
That probably counts.
The very first thing that I thought of for some reason, I don't know why this is the first thing that came to mind.
Why not the whole Infinity Gauntlet though?
That I feel like that's the same argument as why you can't just pick the Enterprise.
Because it's friggin' gaudy and dumb looking. That's why.
Exactly.
Chicks wearing that glove.
I just
It's
want to
okay.
fight
You have the reality
Romano,
gem, so you just change what it looks like.
Yeah,
Easy
true.
peasy.
But you'll always know.
Not if
The
you
first
alter
thing
what it
that popped
actually
into
is,
my
then it's
head,
all
which
good.
is very bizarre, that this it's been a while since I've seen Men in Black, is the pen that they use to like
The
erase
neuralizer.
memories. Yeah,
Oh,
throw some shades on, just boom, and then I could be like,
That's just rude.
The ignorance is bliss device.
yeah,
When you just couldn't hold it, and you're in a huge meeting with like big wigs at your company, and you just friggin' let one rip.
yeah. Or you like say something to your wife, and she's like, "Do you want a wife?" And then you just, and then just
problem solved.
Yeah. Oh man.
That would
She's
be
talking to
pretty
her friends
handy.
later. She's like, "Yeah, we never fight. He never says anything rude or wrong to me ever. He's never once
Yeah.
said anything bad to me."
Once.
It's
Weird.
just sometimes like there's groceries in our house, and I don't remember going grocery shopping, and he never left the house. I don't know.
All right. Well, that was CCCP, Chad's Community Conversation Primer. Chad, thank you so much for working on that. I know it takes a lot of work to gather community questions.
I'll browse the email for us next time, and see if we don't get the V gig going.
Oh yeah. Oh, don't
answer a
worry.
question.
I'll have it going for next time. On to some news-related items of big notes. And Alex, you probably want to talk mostly about this, but if you haven't been watching the news, I guess you've been living under a rock. This is pretty big news, but the House has actually, for once, done something. The House of Representatives in the U.S. Congress has actually done something for once and passed a ban, essentially, on TikTok in the United States.
Damn.
There's
Yeah.
more to the bill, but
They, out of everything, this is the thing that
I
they
know.
could all come
This is-
together
I know.
and agree upon. It's ridiculous. But yeah, essentially they, on the House side of things, have passed this bill. It has to go to the Senate now, which could take, months or whatever. We'll see what happens with that. But the nitty gritty of the bill is like, it's going to force ByteDance, which is the Chinese parent company of TikTok, to sell TikTok to a non-Chinese entity, I think, is the deal. Or within 6 months after it passes, or it will be banned from the United States.
Is it just on Chinese, or is it explicitly somewhere in America?
I don't know.
I think it has to be sold to a non-state-owned company. Somebody like in China,
Somebody
a lot
that
of
can use it
companies
for-
have some state representatives or state ownership to some level.
No.
Yeah, it's a big surprise to a lot of people, and so I think that's the real stipulation: is that it has to be it can't be a state-owned or have some state entity involvement from China, which presumably means would make the most amount of sense somewhere in the U.S. Have some sell it to an Oracle or something, like a big company's already doing a lot of data-based. Yeah, I know.
Sell it to Jira.
Yeah.
Biden already said that he would sign it if it passes the Senate, so that's pretty much said and done. TikTok has said, like the CEO has said, it would definitely take longer than 6 months to get a sale through, even if they wanted to do it. So it's basically going to be banned if it happens. The only companies that could afford to buy something like that for what it would be worth would probably trigger antitrust stuff wherever it happens to be. So that will drag things out. Yeah. It's interesting.
Just miss Vines.
Yeah, let's go back to the Vine days. The thing that interests me the most about this is I always wonder on items where there's such alignment from the Congress, if there's information that just like normal U.S. citizens aren't privy to. Because how in the world is this the one thing where everybody's like, oh no, this is the bill. This is the thing we need to put all our attention and focus into to make sure that it passes the House. You know what I mean? Doesn't that seem odd to you guys?
It does. It does seem weird.
I think the oddity here is the fact that they don't want our information going to China, so that they don't want ByteDance to be owning TikTok. And yet Facebook, Instagram, Twitter,
Everybody collects data.
They collect the data and they sell it, which probably reaches China. So like, just don't. It's just extra steps in between. I don't like.
Chad, I don't think you've been listening to enough of Representative Jeff Jackson. I think you need to go back.
Gosh. Have you seen the downfall?
I know. Yeah.
The real concern is like China's using the algorithm to poison the youth.
Yeah, and you know what? Like the number one TikTok to ever like the most liked TikTok is on TikTok.
What?
It's a bowl of strawberries with chocolate covering it.
No way.
Is that true?
Really?
It is true. I think that maybe something has surpassed it, but it is a bowl of chocolate covered strawberries. We are being poisoned. Propaganda is reaching us.
The concern has come up a couple times. That's like if you start up a TikTok account in China, you'll get like educational stuff and like, you know, that kind of thing. And then you start up a TikTok account in America and it's like dumb memes. And it's like trying to raise up China's youth and put down America.
That's why the STEM section was created. They were having that argument the first time they were trying to ban TikTok, and then they created the STEM section, so you can actually like choose to go and look at the education stuff.
The weirdest thing to me is that we went through all this a while back with like trying to ban TikTok, and it didn't pass anything. And then seemingly out of nowhere, this was passed. Like I didn't even hear it was going through Congress again. It was just boom, passed in the House, and I was like, oh, that was happening? Like what? Where'd that come from?
I don't know, man. I'm constantly confused.
Like in theory too, like with all the permissions that you're granting on your phone, whatever device you're using it, and the fact that you have like a lot of military people, like military personnel that have it on their personal devices. Like if you could tap into the GPS or, you know, it taps into anything, cell tower, whatever, like you could get some pretty serious like military information from like troop mobilization and things like that. But yeah,
just lock her down.
You're gonna get it off of anything, to Chad's point. But
yeah, that's true.
I mean, TikTok is hot. The parents don't like it.
I'm curious. Like, you go ahead. Sorry.
Apparently, this already happened with Grindr in 2020. They forced them to sell Grindr for $600 million.
Really?
Yeah.
Who owned Grindr? Was it China?
I believe so.
China trying to turn America gay. Confirmed.
Make America gay.
They were worried it would be used to blackmail Americans.
Interesting.
Apparently.
And then it went right through the House.
Congress real concerned.
Weird that they passed it so quickly.
Yeah.
So one more thing that kind of adds to the fish smell on top of all of this is if you actually go and look up Stephen Mnuchin, the former Treasury Secretary, he is actually formulating a group of people that are going to try to buy TikTok. So he's actually like, after the vote went through, he's like, oh, I want to buy TikTok. I'm gonna get a group of people together to do this.
Conflict of interest banned.
Good old Mnuchin.
Putting together a consortium.
Can we have like an actual another amendment to actually have a ban hammer fabricated, forged, and tested? It's got a bald eagle on it. It's got the stars and stripes. It's got a nice like cherry tree, handle because of George Washington, right?
Mm.
And then anytime anybody does anything stupid in the Senate, we just get like some big macho like Dwayne the Rock Johnson or something. I don't care. Terry Crews, somebody that has a lot of strength.
Macho Man Randy Savage.
Rest in peace. Just ban them.
Honestly, I agree with that. It also needs to be Bluetooth enabled, so anytime it swings, you can hear the sound of a screeching eagle, and when it makes an impact with something, it's like a shot from a tank or a cannon.
Sounds like the 4th of July.
Heck yeah.
Should send an alert to everyone in the U.S.'s phone when it goes off.
A presidential alert.
Yeah.
Stephen
Van
Mnuchin
Hanner has been dropped.
banned.
I love that. I'm on board.
Catch it on the New American TikTok. Now, link
The
here.
new American TikTok.
My question is like, if the ban goes through and it's banned in America now, if you have it on your phone already, does it still work? Because like Fortnite still works on phones after it got banned off of the store, right? And that's the reason people sell them on eBay for like a lot of money. If like this iPhone has Fortnite on it,
That's probably a
gotta
different
buy
thing,
it for
right?
a bunch
Like,
of stuff.
that's the App Store banning an app versus the U.S. government banning a service from operating within the United States. I would assume they would require something to make them inoperable on
They would-
users' devices.
I don't
Probably
know.
just like remove all servers from the U.S., right?
I was about to say,
And
like,
prevent
how many VPNs are going to be downloaded after this
Yeah.
gets banned? Like,
Yeah.
That's the other thing. Yeah.
Yeah, if the US servers are down, maybe it would require an update to be able to connect to other servers, and if it's off the stores, you don't get that update.
Tap me right into that Chinese server, fam.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, there's going to be ways around it. Almost guaranteed.
There's always
Like,
ways around it.
Instagram will just explode with even more users because they kind of have like the same situation over there
Well, that and like,
with like the scroll
YouTube.
through the stuff situation.
yeah,
I would think
YouTube
YouTube more
Shorts
so.
and
YouTube Shorts, yeah. Same thing.
I would think that people who see this band, if they're actually paying attention, wouldn't go to Instagram, just because Instagram is pseudo-owned by Facebook and Zuckerberg, and they don't, like, people are trying to get away from that in the first place. They don't use Facebook anymore. Instagram came out with their own like Twitter thing, and it like flopped immediately. So like, yeah.
I think
Threads.
I think
Threads, yeah.
it's just like
I don't even remember the name.
a sign that the current concept of social media is kind of in its death knells, death throes, whatever. What do you call it?
I mean, there's
there
been-
you go.
There have been a lot
Like-
of things challenged from like a social media standpoint. Like just in the Supreme Court this week, they were talking about Missouri and Louisiana brought a case against essentially social media companies for allowing the U.S. government to either prevent them or force them to do things when there's a situation that arises that could be either of national security threat or some health concern. And they've also talked a lot about that. I can't think what the statute is, but it essentially would classify them as a common carrier instead of classifying them as their own like entity that can determine what things are posted on their website, because they essentially just act as a forum board where people can post whatever idea that they want. But as that admin, you could essentially be like, well, I don't want this type of content on my site because I think
I don't like that.
Right. So I think you're probably right, is that we are seeing, like, we're coming to this sort of head where we have to figure out what's the balance between allowing these companies to operate at the level that they do with the financial structure and revenue that they do, but also allow them to do whatever they feel like doing when it comes to screening, modifying, adapting, changing their user base to make it more functional and better associated with them or whatever they want to be
Capitalism.
aligned with. Yeah. A weird time.
I don't know. Like the whole thing is like all these companies pay all the money so that way they can like advertise specifically to me. And anytime that anything's come up where I've been like, hey, we should look at this. Like, I've been thinking about buying a 4-wheeler. Like it's the next ad that I get on TV, it's like, check out Yamaha ETVs. And I'm like, I don't want to buy that anymore. An advertisement has an ad on a service has never worked for me, especially Amazon Prime, because that's just unacceptable. It's
Except
unsafe.
for
Commercials
the
are
ones that
coming
you
back.
don't realize worked.
Like what?
You wouldn't know.
No, I don't know.
Like when you sit
Anytime that-
down.
The best
in a
ads are the
movie
ones
theater.
you don't realize that you're being advertised to, and
You
They
sit
just
down in a movie
influence
theater
you.
and the top right hand corner of the screen or wherever it was just like flash, and it's actually like a popcorn flashing. And then you're
Yeah,
like, man,
no,
I really want
I'm
popcorn.
not talking
now.
about like subliminal
messaging.
advertisements. I'm just like, not as in your face.
Instantly went and bought a Starbucks after I watched that episode with Khaleesi where she was sitting next to
Amen,
the
dude.
Starbucks cup that was left in.
Mm.
Bro, I got a
Instantly.
collection of like 40 Dune popcorn containers because, like,
Okay, that's
Some-
good. That's good, Chad. Thank you. We should talk a little bit about Dune. Frank, I guess we're gonna have to mute you for a little while.
Yeah.
I don't want to make it long because I don't want to kick Frank out of here for too long. But we should probably talk about the fact that multiple of us have been to see Dune 2 twice now.
Yes, sir.
Probably this is not even the last time Chad will go see it.
I
I'm sure it
was
will be
about
a
to
third
say,
and a
I'm
fourth
probably gonna go
time.
see it a third time. Like,
Yeah. What to say about this movie other than it's clearly the best movie of the year so far. I don't
Mhm.
for me at least, I don't know. Objectively, is it the best film of the year? Maybe not. For me, best movie of the year. Absolutely loved it. Phenomenal, beautiful. Frank's eating his microphone. For those of you who are just listening, not watching.
Beautiful is a good word.
There's just so many good things to say about this movie. The visuals, the acting, the screenwriting, the audio, which is just incredible.
Hans Zimmer
And
outdoing himself, making
again,
like such a unique soundscape for this movie.
I heard that this movie is a very good movie to go see very high
Probably.
because
Probably
of like,
massive,
the
too.
sounds that are happening and the visuals that happen on screen. Like, yeah, this movie's magnificent. I feel like this movie is just so good. But if you like go and see this movie like alone, you're not going to appreciate it. So you do have to, like, if you've never seen Dune 1 and you're trying to go see this movie, like, you need to watch Dune 1. And you also need to pay attention to Dune 1.
I thought you meant alone, like without friends.
Yeah, that's also what I thought you meant.
Oh, no, you go alone and see this movie.
Yeah, okay.
Especially with more butter in that Dune popcorn bucket,
Jeez.
I don't know how deep in the spoilers you want to get at all, or like how much you want to talk about it, or talk about like the pop culture take on it or anything like that. But
I mean, that's kind of up to you guys, really. I think we can get as deep in it as you want. Now, we don't need to have an hour-long Chad conversation about the intricacies of how the books differ from the movies and the ways they're trying. No, I'm just joking. Everything you've talked about has been excellent. But I kind of, however you guys want to highlight this film, I just think it's worth telling people that they should go see it while it's in theaters.
It is considerably better than the first one.
Wow.
Did you like the first one? Disagree?
Did you like the first one?
It was alright.
It was aight, he says. Caleb's opinion is not representative of the podcast as a whole.
Do you disagree
Definitely
that it's significantly better than the
I
first
mean,
one?
okay,
It
so
is
like
significantly better than the first one.
Before
The
we
first
like really
one's
dig into
required
it,
though for it to be as good as
Right.
it is.
Yeah,
if you
it
had
is.
to like give these 1 out of 10 scores, what are you giving 1 and 2? Like separately, what are you giving 1, and then what are you giving 2? 1 out of
If I
10.
had to give them 1 out of 10 scores,
Yeah,
I wouldn't give them a 1 out of 10.
1 to 10.
6.5 and 8.
Wow. What's a 10?
Your name.
Yeah, okay. How did I know he's gonna say your name?
Yeah.
That's I'm gonna pick my favorite
Classic
movie to
response.
say as a 10.
Okay, Alex, you were the one that was like wow on the first movie, so I'm curious as to what you think the first movie is.
I love the first movie. I mean, it's probably like a 9 and a 10 in my mind. 9 for the first movie, 10 for the second movie.
Aaron, what do you think?
I
Or
would
maybe like
say
a 9 and a 9.75.
I would say probably are both solid 8s for me. Like 8.5, both of them. I think they're almost equivalent in my mind.
Yeah, I personally, I think
Almost equivalent.
Mm-hmm.
I think with Dune 1, if Dune 1 didn't have like the idea of Dune 2 going like coming after it, like if like after finishing it the first time way back, I was like, it was like a 7, 6, somewhere around there. Like having Dune 2 be able to follow it up and like complete the story. Laughing at Frank.
Yeah, I don't know what he's playing.
Ocarina.
He has an
Is that what that
ocarina.
is?
I think Dune 2 100% is a 10. And I think it brings Dune 1 up to like an 8 because you actually have like that it's like the foundation of like what is to come, I think. I've heard a lot of complaints from people who have read the books. So I feel like book readers stop looking at movies as something to compare to.
I think that's a weird comparison. I mean, I think a lot of what they did in this movie was really adapt it for the audience of today. One of the things we talk about is sci-fi that's written a long time ago doesn't always meet the standard or the metric of how we see advancement in today's era. It's how they saw or thought about advancement in that era. And that's why there seems to be a lot of like technological gaps between what you would imagine is like a functional device then, like when you were envisioning it back then versus what you'd envision now. I think they did a great job. And the other half is I think they did a good job of stripping away all of the not so kosher components of Dune. And Frank's writing, I think they did a good job adapting it into like a modern sci-fi feel, a modern sci-fi experience that doesn't detract from the story of Dune. So, yeah, I don't know.
I mean, they talk about, I don't know. The thing that I always like was the fact that they had to go backwards in technology because of the war with artificial intelligence. Why, like, all the technology seems like super advanced, but backwards. But
I guess that makes sense.
And everyone's like, why are they fighting with swords? It's like, because of these shields. Like, well, what happens? You shoot them with lasers. What happens? It's nuclear explosion. Well, that sounds like a design flaw. I'd be like, well, I think not getting shot or stabbed sounds pretty tight. So,
yeah, you're not wrong there.
You said you're seeing it tomorrow, Frank?
Yeah.
I'm very excited to get your opinion after you watch this film.
Yeah, we just watched, went back and rewatched the first one Sunday. So,
Good flick.
I'm primed. And then I'll go back and watch the sci-fi miniseries, which is going to be junk.
You're going to go back and watch the original too?
No.
Like the...
No.
What's the miniseries?
Came out in like 2004
Children of
or
Dune,
5.
right?
No, they did have that one. But that one came after the original adaptation of like the first book. Yeah, Children of Dune, that had James McAvoy in it as Leto. Second.
Huh.
Weird.
And man, is it a solid looking series? Some of the animation in that show, whew, just top tier.
Yeah. There's not enough screaming ladies in the soundtrack either.
I think that's important.
I found.
But that's the important part, is that if you actually listen to the Dune music, it just sounds like All Day Cookie Dough.
What is All Day Cookie Dough?
Just listen to the Dune soundtrack.
That's what
You'll
the
hear
lyrics
it.
sound like?
Yeah, you'll hear it. All day cookie dough.
What the heck?
Anyway, I don't know what else there's to say about the movie other than just go watch it. It's an excellent film.
We'll have a different podcast when everybody's seen it to actually take apart the
Yeah,
social narrative that people are talking about.
there's a lot to it.
It's one of those movies that doesn't come along very often that feels like such a big like event, like an epic, like everything in it feels like anti-Hollywood CGI, like it feels real and bigger and larger than life and visceral.
Yeah, but
And
it's not there to like oh, we got to have some bombastic explosions that way the audience can like remain engaged or anything like that. Let's just be like, oh, there's shot.
Yeah,
like it's similar to the Lord of the Rings trilogy. In 20 years, I feel like you could watch this and it would hold up. Whereas you watch like a Marvel movie or something 20 years from now, it's probably going to look goofy.
Or Avatar 20 years from now.
Jurassic Park.
That's true. Jurassic Park. Solid film. Dune 2. Go watch it while it's still in theaters. This is there are very few movies that come out a year that I feel like have to be seen in theaters and especially seen in IMAX. This is one of them.
I'm Emperor Shaddam the Fourth.
Except for maybe that part.
Masada are gonna destroy you.
I'm glad you already know about that going into it.
Yeah.
That was a surprise to the rest of us.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yes.
not a good surprise.
They announced it like a year and a half ago.
I think
Yeah,
I really
kinda.
What a weird choice.
I like embargoed stuff about this movie. You know, I
went dark
see no
on it.
evil. I didn't want to know anything about it.
I didn't either. I just saw, so after watching the first one, I was like, waiting on bated breath to ensure that it made enough at the box office to greenlight making part 2.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to do such a good job on part 1 and then they're just like, didn't make enough money. But
I do remember when it was up in the air and they were like, I don't know.
yeah, and so I was like, just constantly looking stuff on the internet, and then they were like, Dune Part 2 confirmed, and I was like, great. And then it was immediately followed by the Emperor's casting choice, and I was like, yes.
Yes.
I'll say that's like the one thing in that movie that I feel like
The spice
is not
must
good.
flow.
Is him as the Emperor. I just
the scenes where he's not talking looks very Emperor-esque.
no. when it first cuts to him and he's on the throne, he looks so goofy.
Yeah. Very goofy looking.
It's funny.
It was a choice.
Who it would be your top choice for the Emperor then?
I don't know.
Someone serious. Someone who being on screen is not a joke. Yeah.
Ugh.
Patrick Stewart, who played
Nah.
the original Gurney in the
Oh yeah. I saw
What
clips
is
of that
that
recently. I
director's
was like,
name?
oh, that's crazy.
what's that director's name?
I don't know.
Original Dune.
Yeah,
Couldn't tell you.
Was-
Couldn't tell you.
with Sting. Now it's gonna bug me. Sorry.
David Lynch.
Go on. David
That's
Lynch.
Let's go Google it.
D. Lynch. D. Lynch.
The other
King
thing
Lynch.
I wanted to bring up in film is I just finished Masters of the Air. For those of you who are fans of the miniseries Band of Brothers, The Pacific, this is kind of the third part in that, I don't know, we'll call it a trilogy that focuses on the Air Force and their bombings in the European campaign of World War II. Band of Brothers focuses on Easy Company, paratroopers, post-Normandy, and their fighting in the Eastern fronts. The Pacific obviously focuses on the Pacific, and this one is about the Air Force. But I just wanted to say, I think these series are all excellent, and they still hold up incredibly well. I just watched the Pacific about a month ago, loved it. This one, they do a really good job of focusing on the interpersonal relationships of the soldiers and how they sort of just grow accustomed to being around one another and really just learn the ways that they operate within their own plane. And I loved it. I think it was excellent. I don't think it has quite the reviews that Band of Brothers does. As no surprise there, it's one of the highest reviewed World War II epics of all time. But excellent show. Frank, have you seen any of the others?
Yeah.
Okay, you have.
Does Greyhound count as the Navy one?
Sure, I guess you could count it.
I don't know what Greyhound is.
Greyhound is like Tom Hanks's wet dream.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, I just want to have a movie where I just have Navy combat lingo for 2 hours straight.
Huh.
Like, I watched it, and you know me and military lingo and all that stuff. I was like, this is amazing. This is great. This is great. Ashley watched it with me. She was like, I have no idea what happened in that movie. Guys, just being like, contact bearing torpedo 254 CIC bridge, but suck it, and
suck it. Yeah,
I hope they say that at some point.
Military lingo there. Suck it.
Suck it. Yeah. Well, I mean, one of the ships in one of the destroyer escorts, there's like Greyhound, like London, and then there's like Dickie. So you just hear Tom Hanks yelling Dickie all the time.
Also excellent.
Also good.
This one caveat on the show, I will say, it is Austin Butler post Elvis, so he still really has that.
So, hang on. Can I just ask, who the hell is Austin Butler? I have never heard of this guy. And now all of a sudden I just see like these YouTube recommendations where they're like Austin Butler's voice. And I was like, first of all, who is this man? Second of all,
what is
there's an
Ashley
Elvis
just
movie?
running through the house when you're gone, just being like, Austin Butler?
I don't know.
He's been
Maybe.
around for a while. He kind of got his start, I feel like, in like rom-com type stuff for a long time until he got. It was pretty much like Elvis, I think, he got like his serious acting start.
You know, I could see where that's where he made his start.
But he was in like the Carrie Diaries, which is the spin-off of Sex and the City, when like the main character was young. Everybody watched that, right?
Sarah Jessica
yeah,
Parker?
for sure.
Yeah,
100%.
Mm-hmm.
They made a series where she was like a teenager, and he was in that.
Oh.
You guys didn't
and
watch this? I'm
so
gonna
he-
watch this.
No.
Okay,
So
sorry.
he
Really?
played Sarah Jessica Parker when she was younger?
No, he
Yes.
was just the love interest for her
Oh,
younger self.
Okay.
Apparently, he was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Man, everybody's in that movie.
I still haven't seen that.
Yeah, fair enough.
A lot of people in that movie.
He was
Anyways.
an Arrow.
Oh my
For 3
god.
episodes.
no.
It was an arrow?
That's what
episodes.
launched him to fame for sure.
Importantly,
He played
one of
Chase.
he played one of the arrows that got shot out of the bow.
They never actually shoot arrows in that show. They just like
He-
punch
he's-
people with the bow.
Played
Yeah,
the
they just
butler.
get Andy Serkis to play the arrow.
importantly, Masters of the Air, the sequel to Elvis, the 2022 Elvis film. This is an excellent 9-part series. You should go watch it. It's really great. Loved
Bald
it.
in it?
No, actually.
Oh, is
surprisingly.
this the movie that he was doing in tandem with
No.
Dune? That like
That's Bike Riders. His
Okay.
other film that's coming out this
Bike
year with Tom Hardy.
I
Uh,
forgot it was
yeah.
called Bike Riders.
Yeah, the
Is
Bike
it-
Riders.
Is it like a remake of Easy Rider or
I don't think so. I think it's his original story.
original story of this biker gang.
Wasn't it based on a true story?
Maybe.
You're asking
These
questions
guys
I don't have an
riding
answer to.
Riding a bike, yeah.
It's about some motorcycle club.
Based on a book, 1967 photo book by of the same name by Danny Lyon.
When
All
is
I
it?
got.
When are they going to start making, like, they're going to be 20 years creatively bankrupt to the point that they're going to start making movies? They'd be like, well, if we make it based on a book, it sells more, or people are more inclined to go see it. But the only books that are left that they haven't made movies into are like all the AI generated books now. So it's just like 3-layer. It's like a 5-layer dip. Like,
that's when you start going to the movies and or watching like reading books or like getting content that is called organic content. It's, it comes from humans. It's not the AI content. So then it's going to go up in price.
Dude, hipsters are going to be like crazy. Going to be like, I only intake organic content. You'd be like, I read this book. It was trash, but
organic.
Organic
Organic.
AI movies. Yeah. Dude, that's so unhealthy for you.
Melts your brain.
That's right. It does.
I'll eat avocado toast and watch organic.
Dude, avocado toast. Absolutely.
I only watched Dune Part 2.
Not the first one. Okay, on to some video game stuff. Let's talk about a few items. PS5 Pro specs.
Yes.
Alex, were they actually leaked? Were they leaked?
Yeah.
Were they not leaked? Is it a real thing? Is it a fake thing?
So they had some leaks that were like PS5 Pro performance targets that were kind of like, kind of hearsay. We didn't really know for sure what it meant, all that. And then shortly after that, we got like full like data, like specs leaked with numbers and such that are probably pretty accurate from everything that I've seen. So basically we're looking at basically the same CPU as the PS5. It has a high CPU frequency mode that can boost it 10% over the current CPU. Interesting to say, this is sort of the same thing they did with the PS4 Pro, which I didn't realize. The CPU is just not the bottleneck, I guess, for a lot of stuff that happens. So they don't really do a lot to retool that with these half iterations. They say the 10% increase on the CPU will also cut into the GPU performance slightly by about 1%. So when you're in high CPU frequency mode, your GPU will work 1% worse. Worth noting, I guess. I don't know.
1%.
Because it's something to do with like power restraints on the system. And they allocate everything by clocks. So when you clock up the CPU, more power gets allocated there, and slightly less will be allocated to the GPU.
And they upgrade the heat sinks in this bad boy? Because I feel like it's going to be running hot.
Yeah, there's been talk that this could possibly be the most power-hungry console that's ever been put out. It might be bigger than the original PS5.
Bigger?
Yeah.
They're supposed to slim the next version.
Yeah, that's not how it works.
The interesting stuff is in the GPU though. So the render will be about 45% faster than the PS5. They're approximating that because there's actually like a ton more cores in the GPU than the original, but the clock speed has gone down a bunch. So they're making it like way wider and not as like throughputty, This is technical jargon, I know.
Is that a technical term? What is throughputty?
Throughputty, yeah, it's technical.
And along with that, they can fit a bunch more stuff into it. So they're increasing ray tracing performance by like 3 times, and in some cases 4 times over the PS5 original. They're also doing PSSR, which is PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution, which is basically DLSS, but their proprietary version of it. they said along with that, they're going to upscale any 1080p games to 4K with PSSR.
Do we know how effective that's going to be? Because we saw AMD try to do that,
Yep.
and it didn't work out so hot.
It sounds. We'll have to see. We'll have to see what it actually looks like, what kind of artifacts it produces and stuff like that. But it sounds a lot closer to like DLSS than FSR. From what people have been talking about it.
How much is it?
We don't know what the price will be. They got custom machine learning architecture on there as well for AI enhancement. They got an AI accelerator on there. No telling what they're going to do with that. All the new chips are going to have AI stuff on it though. Intel already got some Intel Ultras out. They got an MP on there. The MPU right now, I think the only thing that uses it is Windows 11's new fancy wallpaper that uses your camera to track where your head is and then like subtly shifts the wallpaper to follow you.
Wow.
And it's like a normal flat static image and it's using AI to like generate the new perspective.
Huh.
So all the walls got the wrong amount of fingers.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is all expected fall this year, so we'll probably see a lot more about it in June, I would guess.
So at E3, probably.
Yeah, well, E3 is dead, but
Oh,
Yeah.
Yep,
E3 is
don't do it
officially
anymore?
dead. Yep,
Gone for good.
wow. End of an era.
Mm-hmm.
we got
Now
Key3 though.
they're doing all their own stuff now.
Jeff
Yeah.
Keighley will save us all.
Yes. Yep.
Summer
He will.
Games Fest is happening.
Sure. Are you gonna buy one? Is anybody here gonna buy one? PS5 Pro?
Probably.
Since you never
I don't
owned a
own a
PS5.
PS5, so
Chad's
Yeah.
been flirting with buying a PS5 for a while, and I'm like, I don't know. They keep on saying the PS5 Pro is probably coming soon.
yeah.
So
I
this
like-
could be it.
I like my PS5. I don't know.
Well, I've
It-
had Alex's for how long now?
Yeah,
I mean,
I
I
have-
think
I'd rather probably update my computer components.
Yeah.
Keep that a little more up to date.
I
since
think
it's
the
starting
only
to get-
way I get one is if something comes out that would justify it, you know?
Mhm.
If they put out a new God of War and they're like, look how sick this looks on the Pro.
Like, look
you
how
would get
dusty
you wouldn't
Kratos
just
looks.
keep the PS5? Like, wouldn't it essentially be the same thing? Like, I don't understand.
That FOMO. Because he could have
I mean,
1% less GPU running it.
Right, but if it's
Whatever.
running at 45% greater, then you're really just running at 44%.
it was if something like that was happening and they're really targeting the PS5 Pro, then you'd probably end up with the same game on the regular PS5 running at like 30 frames a second versus 60 or something like that sort of situation.
Mm.
Same reason why, you know, I had a PS4 Pro, but I didn't play Ragnarok on it. I got a PS5 and played Ragnarok on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I actually buy the PS5, it'll probably be like, I'll give you back your PS5. Well, I would have already done that because hopefully after I play through this Final Fantasy, I won't need to play through anything else, and I can give it back to you finally.
Yeah.
But like, I probably won't like pull the trigger on the Pro until like a game that I actually want to play comes out, and I'll be like, oh, okay, let me
Spider-Man
actually
3 or something.
pick one up. That by that point, they're already at the later, end stages of the PS5, so PS6 is coming out. So pick that up instead.
I hope that when they get to PlayStation 10, they call it PSX. So then it's just
That would be cool.
right back to the beginning.
Heck yeah.
That'd be very cool.
And then that's the last model they ever make.
Yeah. And then they just come out with the PSX Pro. And then the PSX Pro.
Oh no, PSX Pro X.
PSX. Oh God. PSX Pro X, PSSR Pro.
Yes. I'm on board with this.
Like this, pull a Battlefield and just call it PlayStation 1.
The number
Oh.
one. So dumb.
As long as it has the startup sound from the original PlayStation, I'll be happy.
mean,
It's the
Xbox
best
did
console
that.
startup.
You think that's the
Best
number one,
console
huh?
startup. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's just because that was the first real console that I got that wasn't a hand me down,
Yep,
and
same.
it was right at that time of nostalgia where I hear those chimes and stuff, man. It's
Yep.
over.
It's good.
I was
I
really
remember.
happy. My biggest issue with the PS5 is the fact that themes are gone and I can't customize the background. Because I had a PlayStation 20th anniversary theme on my PS4, and it would play the original PlayStation theme when I started up,
Mhm.
Dang,
and it was great.
that's cool.
And then I was like, "Yeah, I want to
Why-
get that." And then
Why
they
would,
took
why
that
would
away.
they
and I
have
was like,
taken that away? I feel like that's
That's
more
a great
money.
question,
that-
Chad.
I
Why don't we talk about that?
feel like I mean, you had to pay for some of the things, right? So like, that's just more money they
Yeah,
could.
but yeah. I mean, it's like $2, and they still charge you for like avatars and shit.
Right.
If you want like premium avatars,
That's free money for just transfer over all the PS4 themes to the PS5, resell them.
That's effort and work.
Also, I still don't know how I feel about the way that the PS5's like home screen functions.
It's fine.
Well, they're
It's
gonna
service
It's
expand.
functional.
For
They're gonna
people
increase
who
its-
don't have a PS5, what does that mean?
It's like there's 4 different ways to do the thing that I want to do. I'm used to having owned a PS3 and a PS4, having that linear line that goes across the upper half middle of the screen that then has like your things that you go down into your apps and all that stuff. I like that it was like, hey, your video's here, and then like add your top game to your favorites list, and it's right there on the main thing. And then you can add like folders and stuff. But now this one's like, oh no, media's on another tab, and then I have to. It's like you always know that. Like you prioritize the list on when it was last used, but you don't default the cursor to whatever was last used. Instead, you have it sitting on the PlayStation Media News thing, and then I have to scroll over 3 times. Like, that's inefficient, man.
So you just like never turn the PlayStation off, and you don't have any of those issues.
Never turn off. What do you mean?
just leave it on forever.
Just leave it,
Right.
and it'll go into rest mode. When you come back, your game's still there.
Oh no, I do that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I do that all the time. But the whole thing is like, even just turning it off, hitting the button, the cursor to put it into rest mode is all the way on the other end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
is.
I'm like,
That one is
listen,
annoying.
yes, you don't want to have it sitting like you hit that button and it's sitting right there.
Right.
Okay, you don't want to have the cursor sitting right on that. Got it. But don't have it be on the entire other side of the screen. Because I can't put it in rest mode with the TV off.
What you're
I could
saying
do it.
is having the power button right here and then the delete key right here is just a bad. It's just bad design.
That is
Right.
bad design. that is
I've
bad
tried
design.
deleting stuff on my work laptop so many times that it just turns off, and I'm like, oh great.
My work computer has the insert key next to the toggle Wi-Fi key.
Why?
Awful. Done that a lot.
That is awful.
Can you
Yep.
disable that key?
Doesn't seem like I can.
Oh man.
Just gonna have to re-log into everything again.
Yep.
Great,
Yep.
Love it, lovely.
My
Uh,
VPN.
If anybody's ever used crontab to like set up scripts to run on Linux or whatever, if you do crontab-e, that's how you edit it. So you do that a bunch. Crontab-r removes the entire thing immediately.
Oh, those
Not
are very
even like
close to one another.
are you not even a confirmation
No,
key?
I've
Why?
done it. I've done it once, and I was like, "What did I even do?" And I looked it up, and I did, "Oh, is it R instead of E?" And I was like, "That's a thing." And I looked it up. It's like, yeah, just removes your crontab file.
Heck yeah, love it.
Why would that be an option? You can just delete it normally. You don't need an option.
Because when the person developed it, it just made total sense. It's like, yeah, why wouldn't it be?
So your finger slips a little bit, and you're hitting enter quickly after that. You're not really like slowing down.
Always cron tabbing, Doug. Whatever that means.
Yeah, I agree. I'm right there with you.
I didn't want to be the guy to be like,
It's just like it just can run things on a schedule on your system.
okay.
Also want to, not to get us back on topic here, but to get us back on topic here.
Yes.
Overwatch 2, I don't even know what this means. All the heroes are going to be free? What do you mean?
Yeah. You know how when they did Overwatch 2, they started putting the new heroes in the battle pass and you had to buy the battle pass?
Yeah.
To get them?
You could
smart.
For what it's worth,
smart.
you could unlock them for free already. After the battle pass was over, you could do a whole bunch of in-game stuff in order to unlock them.
During
free.
the season they come out, you would have to grind the battle pass to like the midpoint and you could unlock it for free.
Mm-hmm.
People that bought the battle pass would get it immediately.
Yeah.
The season after that, when that battle pass is gone, there's like challenges or whatever to unlock them that you have to grind through. So you could still get them for free technically, but now they're just all going to be available from the start for everybody, like it should have been the whole time.
I believe you get nothing for owning them already.
But how do they make money? How does Blizzard make money?
Cosmetics, I guess.
Yeah.
And I mean, Diablo 4 is like really friggin' hitting the peak right now. So
Actually just watched a whole video on how this is their last chance to actually save their game. Question about the Overwatch 2 thing, though.
Yeah.
New accounts. So, like, for instance, when Kate started playing, I almost recall that she had to start unlocking a lot of characters. Like, she didn't get, like, new characters.
There was, like,
So
a
that's
player onboarding thing for her.
right?
Right.
It might be.
I think that's still a thing, because it just tries to lock out the characters that are more complicated until you've played a number of matches.
Yeah, okay.
It might
I'm
still do
wondering
that.
if they'll
unlocks
change
all of
that.
them.
Just everything's unlocked, kind of like, Dota, which I think it's a fine system.
Yep. Also, like, Overwatch, like, counter picks are so important.
500 hours in that game, I still don't understand it.
I think it took most of us 2K to actually get a grasp on that game.
I still don't have a grasp on that game.
It's a great system. It's a great system. Damn.
But yeah, character swapping is incredibly important. The biggest example recently was when Mauga came out and was so strong, and if you didn't have Mauga, you just lost. Unless both tanks didn't have Mauga, and then it was like another even fight again. But if one of them had Mauga and the other did not, Mauga just won. So
lots of playtesting before these hero releases. Got it.
What the heck's a Mauga?
He's a tank.
He's a tank. He's from Samoa.
Okay.
He's got big chain guns. Season 10 is when this is going to start with the release of Venture, who is... they've shown some concepts for her. She has got a drill gun and can go underground and stuff. Sounds pretty cool.
I believe Season 10 is also doing the Cowboy Bebop skins, right?
Is that season? Okay, I wasn't sure. That's another thing. That's how they're going to make their money. They're doing these collaborations like Fortnite style.
Mm-hmm.
Getting all these other types of properties in the game.
They're pretty good skins.
The really hot, bumping, really, riding the curtails of Cowboy Bebop.
yeah, dude.
They're good skins. They're not $20 to $30 good skins, but they're good skins.
Yeah. People pay $20 to $30 to get them, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yikes.
I've been punched by the One Punch Man Doomfist a number of times. Let me tell you, people do buy it.
How do you guys feel about skins?
It's fine.
As a
I usually don't
in
have an issue
general,
with them.
or
Yeah.
I don't think they add or take away anything from what I'm playing, so I could either buy them or not. It doesn't matter, so I don't care.
When they're too ridiculous,
what
they
price
can be a
point does
problem.
that? Okay, at what price point does that opinion change?
I don't buy skins, so it don't matter to me. Make it whatever price you want.
Well, if buy a ton of Fortnite skins, so like those are usually $5 to $10 each. So I think if you look at Valorant, for instance, I won't buy anything in there basically because it's like almost $60 for one gun. Like it's crazy.
Oh gosh.
Wow.
I think
I
the
don't
only
really
problem,
care what they price it at.
the only problem is when they get ridiculous looking skins that just completely get rid of the existing silhouette for the character, and you can't really tell it's them. Yeah. That happens a lot in like League, I think, but you can turn on like the character names over them, so it's not really an issue.
It happens in Dota too, where some of the characters will get a skin and it makes them look like a different character in the game. They may not even be in the game, but I mean, obviously, I know their portraits are up top, but like it's still nice to be able to tell immediately what character is approaching you.
Yeah.
They still have they used to have really strict rules about glance value and the silhouette in that game, and at some point they're just like, I don't know, personas. Crystal Maiden's a wolf now.
Completely different.
Me and Chad were playing one time, and we actually didn't know what a character was, and we had to try to look it up, and it was hard to look up. And it was Phantom Assassin with a persona that made them a dude.
Oh.
It literally made the Phantom Assassin was using like Void Spirit's staff. Like it was weird. And so I was like, oh, it's just a Void Spirit. And then it was like,
and then they jumped on top of you.
It's PA.
Said, oh no.
Crazy.
How is Overwatch doing at this point in terms of player base?
Doing great.
I think it's doing fine.
Somehow
Seems
still
like-
chugging along.
Yeah.
What else? What other game is out there for an Overwatch player to play? Like if you if you're like competitive in Overwatch, and like that's the game that you're gonna play, like where are you gonna go?
I don't know. You're right. I don't know. I mean, they're gonna have a player base that's just gonna stick with them because it's the only game that is of that type.
I mean, what, like Apex Legends? But then that's a BR. It's not an arena. So
yeah.
I mean, people seem much more happy with the state of the game as of season 9.
Are we talking you people or like actual people?
the community that plays it?
Oh, actually, one that they could go to is it just launched the Star Wars Battlefront Classics.
Oh my gosh!
They can go and check that out. It's a class-based arena.
Technically, yeah.
Yes, Frank. Thank you for that transition. We They could go check it out if it wasn't doing so poorly. Right now, 5,992 reviews on Steam, overwhelmingly negative.
Damn, that's scathing.
Alex, has there been some launch problems with this game?
Yeah. So many.
Yeah.
How?
They launched.
How?
That is really the question.
It's
So
like
Overwhelmingly negative. 19%.
You did this before with technology that was worse. How are you getting it wrong this time?
So this is like OG PlayStation 2 Star Wars
Yes.
Battlefront, but it's like reskinned probably.
Yeah, they've got like it seems like they've up-res some stuff. And there's some slight additions. I'll get to that in a second. The main issue was they launched on the first day with 3 open servers sporting 64 player slots each.
What?
That was
No way.
The devs did say, I don't know how accurate this is, but they did say that there was a bug preventing people from seeing all the servers.
It's
Seems
a
like
hell of a
something they would
bug.
say.
It's a hell of a bug.
Well, whether it was a bug or whether
Or the
they
queue time's
really only had 3 servers up, they launched it with 3 64-player servers, so 192 people could play this concurrently. And they had like 5 or 10K trying to play. So that didn't really work out.
No.
There was no queue. Also, I think servers just crashed at the end of every game to kick you out. So if you did manage to get in, you get to play one game.
I mean, for what it's worth, if you read the description, it's play the classic Star Wars Battlefront games online and offline in this definitive collection.
Yeah.
So realistically, I mean, like, how many people want to play this game online? You know?
How do you play that
Not the
offline?
primary use case of these games. Yeah, I don't. There's also like just tons of server performance issues, rubber banding, just lag everywhere. Hit detection just completely doesn't work. Like you can shoot at somebody for forever, and like 1 out of like 20 of your shots will hit them.
It's only when you're playing a stormtrooper. It's fake news.
That's where you're wrong. Hit detection does work, but they have implemented skill-based hit detection.
Man,
I bet Derek is very disappointed by
just
this news.
plagued with issues. Oh yeah, I thought about him because he was like, "You go staying up for the release."
Poor guy.
Nah, man, I'll just bust my PS2 out, hook that up,
Play the real version.
They
fire
just
up.
released a patch today that maybe clears some things up. I don't know.
Apparently,
They said they have like 40 fixes in there.
Apparently, it's also like 70 gigs.
That's crazy.
Why?
I don't know. It doesn't look much different from the original.
I was about to say, have you seen side by side, or even like they just like you look at the picture and then you take that picture away and see the picture of the same area? Like they just like the comparisons. It looks like the newer version is like it's sharper, I guess, but
Yeah,
It's
got
just
that.
upscaled.
you can see the lines a little bit better. But like, I mean,
It's
it's
got
the
that
same.
16x AA, dog.
So the other controversy around this game is there's a modder for the originals that in some of the pre-release footage was like, is that just my mod in this game being used without my permission?
Oh,
And addressed them about it, and they were like, no, we don't have any unattributed code in this game. And then it came out and it's not in there, but data mining has shown that it was probably recently removed right before release.
gosh.
Oh,
Amazing.
no. Ugh. Have these guys published other successful games?
Aspire, they
They did
got
a Tomb Raider collection.
yeah.
Okay. Tomb Raider Remastered. That's very positive. Granted, there's only 3,000 reviews.
I think weren't they supposed to be working on the Knights of the Old Republic remake? That is indefinitely on hold.
I don't remember.
Is BioWare still a company?
I don't think I've ever actually seen an overwhelmingly negative game.
Go check
I
out
don't think I
Overwatch.
have either.
Yeah.
Wait, here's another important question about Steam's review system. Do you think if every single person gives it a negative review, it becomes universally negative?
It's a good question.
No idea.
I doubt
think-
anything has ever gotten like 100% positive reviews or 100% negative reviews, but what if that is actually in there?
Gabe has had a team that he diverted from Half-Life 3, and they've been working on it for about 5 years, just doing their own thing. They started their own project. They're almost there. They're almost there to implementing it. But they had to develop an entire new form of science and technology. And it also resulted in some Dota skins. I don't know how that happened, but
Mm-hmm.
They're also
Sounds about like
very
him.
close to releasing those 2 other AAA VR games they promised when they put out the index.
Very
So
close.
long ago.
Very close. All right, so buggy garbage launch. What? Go ahead, Frank. Sorry.
no, I was just gonna ask what were the two? It was Half-Life Alex? Was that one
They
of them?
just said there would be 3
Oh.
And they've
Yeah,
done
Half-Life
Half-Life
VR
Alyx.
games.
And it's been,
Well, I mean,
what,
that-
5 years?
That one was pretty solid.
It was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
It's good. It's a good one. It's maybe
It's
the
one
best
of
VR
3.
game.
To be fair, we should have known that we're going to put out 3. As soon as they mentioned the number 3, they
That's
get
true.
all.
Usually they can make it to 2 though.
Well, they didn't have to make it like Alex 1, Alex 2, Alex 3. It could have just been like Alex something else and then something else, and then it's not 3 at that point.
It's true. It's true. I think they just don't like that number at this point.
Yeah, Half-Life Alyx. In 4 days, that will have been 4 years ago. That game was
Wow.
released.
Weird.
What even is time?
What's up with VR anyway? Like I felt like there was a good renaissance of some pretty innovative games, some cool games coming out. Now I feel like it's just kind of like
Yeah.
Kind of falling off again. Sony recently announced that they halted production on the PSVR 2 for the time being, so they can
Oh, really?
run through some backstock because they just have too many of them they haven't sold.
Poor guys.
Yeesh.
And you think that the production of VR games was just too much money for the cash that they got back from it?
I don't know. It's a niche market,
That's what I
Yeah.
think.
high risk.
I think it's just incredibly niche. I don't know a lot of people who are wanting to play super high fidelity games in VR constantly. You know, like where
yeah.
I mean, we're still waiting for it to be like, and I don't know if the investment's going to be there to get to the point, but just like easily accessible. You just throw it on at any point. There's no wires. It's still high fidelity. It's light. It's not like
bulky.
draining to wear it.
Mhm.
Doesn't cause fatigue on your eyes, like
Yeah,
that kind of stuff.
I just want it to be a visor on my eyes. That's it. That's all it is.
Right.
Just sunglasses right here. Boom.
I also got a notification that my Oculus account is going away,
Great.
Oh,
and all the games that I purchased on it, unless I make a Meta
What is this?
account.
what is this? Ubisoft?
They're converting. Yeah,
Yeah,
I heard about
yeah,
that.
and also
This
they're
is
talking about
Ubisoft.
different. Yeah,
It's
it was like
bummy.
talking about not going to be able to use certain like versions again, like different certain game servers are being shut down and stuff. But I don't know. It makes me just kind of want to go buy a Vive.
Yeah, but also that's been out for so long at this point. Like, hopefully they do something else soon.
Mhm.
Which is why I'm just gonna like hang out and just kind of see where it goes.
Yeah,
Probably a good plan.
I've had my fun with it. It's still a great party trick to throw out when somebody's like, "I've never tried that. I've always wanted to try." and then you're like, stand on the edge of the skyscraper, dog.
yeah.
And you push them.
Look
Yeah.
at this
You
whale.
push.
You're underwater, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
That is the best part.
My favorite VR introduction is the intro to Robo Recall.
Mm.
Where you're all standing around looking at the TV, and then more and more robots start gathering around, and then the whole thing goes wild, and then they all like freeze, and then all turn to you at once, and you're surrounded.
Hmm.
Everybody's reaction is always like, "Oh, I don't like this."
I think the Apple Vision Pro has reinvigorated the AR side of things.
Mm.
Because I've seen a lot more traction with the Quest 3 because it has similar capabilities, even though people didn't really talk about them that much when it came out. But now that the Apple stuff is doing AR things, they're showing more capabilities to the Quest 3 and able to do like similar stuff, putting windows around the house, that kind of thing.
Man, they're going to have to make it a lot more affordable before that becomes a commonly purchased device, if that's the case.
Yeah. I mean, Quest 3 is 500, something like that.
I'm more talking about the Apple headset, whatever it's called.
Well, that's a given.
Yeah.
What is that? 5K?
3,500. Yeah.
What?
Yup. If they're achieving similar stuff with the Quest, I feel like they can get a next generation
see,
consumer product down near
You
that
see
price.
Zuckerberg give a review on the Apple
Yeah,
headset?
I watched his video. Every point he was like, "Yeah, I was actually kind of surprised that it sucks compared to my device. This is all the things that mine does way better than the Apple. I don't really understand what they're doing."
I don't like his eyes.
Was he talking
Man,
about his
Zuck-
favorite barbecue sauce the whole time, too?
Just it's like data in the next generation, man.
Gosh. Okay, last but not least, in games, before we get into some stuff and then what you've been playing. Apex had a hack recently.
Yeah.
Alex, since you're the only person who has any content in this podcast, tell us about it.
So there was a big tournament going on with a bunch of pros, and then all of a sudden you got a couple pros that are claiming that they're cheating all of a sudden. They have been hacked. In one instance, a player suddenly had wall hacks and could see where everybody was across the map and like their health status and stuff like that. And he was like, "What is happening? I'm cheating suddenly. I gotta leave the game, I guess. I don't know." And he just like panic quit the game. And then there was another player that suddenly had aimbot on their account. And they could just, shoot everybody for free. Similar situation. At the same time, in the chat, there was like this log being spammed that just said Apex Hacking Global Series by Destroyer 2009 and random. So we still don't really know all the details about how this happened, but it's basically hackers able to force cheats onto unsuspecting players' systems. And so we think there's some sort of remote code execution exploit either with Apex itself or the anti-cheat it uses that has not been discovered yet.
That'd be funny if it was the anti-cheat.
Yeah, that would be
funny.
Speaking on the anti-cheat, this revitalized the Easy Anti-Cheat Twitter account from their last tweet was from 5 years ago. And they tweeted out and said, "We have investigated recent reports." And blah, blah, blah. It's like, we haven't found anything saying it's our system. Like, it's
not us, it's you. We're literally an anti-cheat company. It can't be us.
Their last tweet was about Linux support.
Great.
And then they come out and they're like, "Oh, by the way, it's not us."
How wild that it's hacks being forced onto unsuspecting players' systems. That's crazy. And then it was during a tournament too, with a pro player. Even crazier.
If the thing in the chat wasn't being spammed and it didn't happen to multiple people, I think the player would have been blamed immediately for like the situation would have been like he had hacks that he uses occasionally or whatever, and he accidentally activated them and then tried to play it off like he was getting hacked.
Yeah.
But it happened to multiple people, and there was messages in chat taking ownership of the hack, so pretty safe to say that's not the case.
That's wild.
Yeah, this is one of the biggest like security vulnerabilities that I've ever seen in an online game.
Mm-hmm.
The people are saying like don't even play Apex right now just in case, because instead of it being obvious like you're hacking something, it could be like somebody installing a Trojan or something that you don't see.
Yeah, it could be much more malicious than it was.
Yeah.
Is there anti-cheat? Is it like kernel level like all the other anti-cheats of recent?
I don't Is Easy Anti? I think Easy Anti-Cheat is not kernel level.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken. I don't know.
I feel like they almost got to be kernel level or they're not useful.
Yeah, a lot of them nowadays don't seem to do a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Unless they're seriously
Mostly
embedded.
just seem to crash the game.
Mm-hmm.
True.
I seem to remember that this sort of thing happened on TF2. They were like, it wasn't cheats being spread around, but you were opening yourself to vulnerability of like.
Yeah, that sounds familiar. I think it happened in Dark Souls also, the original Dark Souls.
Oh yeah,
where people could get access to your PC if you were online in that game.
Yes.
It's
wild.
Okay, so never play video games ever again.
Never again. Never
Air
again.
gap your PC if you want to play video games.
Yep. Which,
play
if you can do that, you can play Battlefront.
Star Wars
Classic edition.
Battlefront.
You were both trying to get to that joke. I saw it.
I'm clicking through the screens. I'm like, where's that? Where's that? I know it's here somewhere.
Oh my gosh.
That's what you should do. Okay, a couple things in stuff. There is some celebrations of 50 years of D&D, and there's going to be an announcement on April 9th?
Yeah.
What specifically about? What's going on?
So the officiated brick building system company Lego is coming out with a new line of sets themed around Dungeons and Dragons. in partnering with Wizards of the Coast to celebrate 50 years of D&D. So there's a link to the countdown. They got some like areas or like some silhouettes of what the sets will be. Looks like one of it might be like a dragon twisting down around a wizard's tower, which would be pretty cool to make in Lego. And they also seem to have, I don't know how they'll do it, but they seem to have this mission of, they were like, our Lego sets will like stand by the spirit of Dungeons and Dragons and you know, be the adventure that you make it. So I'm like, does that mean that it's going to be like all these 3-in-1 sets where based on the box of pieces you have, you can make 3 different things or what? I don't know. But
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
A 3-in-1 set? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not like a Lego guy. I don't know.
I recently just became a Lego guy because, you know, I had money burning a hole in my pocket. So
Sure. Yeah.
not like I'm saving up for a wedding or anything. But yeah, I don't know. It was a good thing for the winter because we had a cold winter up here. And yeah, there weren't really a lot of games out at the time, so messing around with that. And then it's an investment for future children as well. Then you don't have to buy them all the time when you're broke. So yeah, they got a counter up on their site, and there's always leaks going on. So be interested to see.
So this says, this special Dungeons and Dragons adventure book will let you play through the Lego Ideas Dungeons and Dragons Red Dragon's Tale set like a game of D&D. You use your constructed stuff to like as the minis, I guess, or something. Maybe the maps and the minis.
I did have one game where I did use Lego minifigures as enemies on the board.
Neat.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
Lego D&D.
Lego D&D. Yeah, check it out.
17
April
days,
9th.
14 hours, 3 minutes, 3 seconds.
Thanks. Yep, thanks, Alex. It's really important that we have that exact number on this podcast that's going to come out now. 2 days from when we record it.
56 seconds.
Yep. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Watching live.
Yes, appreciate that.
Watch live if you want to see relevant updates.
Chad. Tell me about the show.
Yeah, so today, for some reason, on my algorithm for TikTok, it has just literally been the same 3 songs playing over and over again. I like literally swipe this one song, swipe the next song, swipe the next song. I might swipe 2 more times, and there's like kind of like random gaming stuff. The next swipe, boom, back to the song algorithm, like crazy. But one of them was from Djo, which I did not realize is Joe Keery, Steve from Stranger Things. He's just making music. And I thought that was a good little PSA that we would do because it's good stuff.
Some good songs on there.
Which one's Steve?
He's the older one that
helps the kids a lot.
Yeah, helps the in like the
he's
first
got like
or
the
second
mullet
season?
in the first season.
Yes.
Yeah. He's got the Letterman jacket.
He scoops ice cream.
Yeah. Heck yeah. Dude.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. All right. Cool. Good for him. Rocking.
Yeah, go take a listen. What was the song that everybody's been hearing? It's shoot. End of Beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, most
Which
of
is
the
like,
stuff on here, like a couple million, 208 million plays on that song.
This song came out in 2022, but like for some reason, right now on TikTok, it's just popping
Exploding.
off.
It's what the algorithm's pulling, man. Or pushing. Okay, let's move on to and talk a little bit about some WHYBPL.
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 Why, Bipple?
Why, Bipple? First and foremost, we have to talk about the game that all of us are playing because it is an absolutely phenomenal piece of art. And yes, games are art.
First of all, it's not a game.
Oh, it's not a game.
Lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle. It's a. That's just lifestyle is the right answer. I was going to come up with something equally unique, but I just can't. It is a lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
And that is Helldivers 2, where all of us go to spread democracy and freedom and more democracy to the galaxy.
Can we go through and do our ship callouts? Because I feel like that's something unique that people build on. Like such as mine is SES Fist of Freedom.
Oh yeah.
Oh, ship names. I
Yeah,
thought
ship
you
names.
said chip names.
That's what I heard too. Chip.
Yeah.
Okay. Ship
Oh.
name. I am the adjudicator of steel
Okay.
Aw.
because I am a shipbuilder.
I have the SES Patriot of Patriotism.
I have
good.
the SES Dawn of Dawn.
Ton of ton.
Why can I not remember my ship name right now?
Judge of
Good.
Judgment.
Judge of Judgment. Thank you.
SES Judge of Judgment.
Here's the problem. I've been too busy killing Terminids, not enough time staying on the ship, so I just forget what the name is. All right? That's the real issue.
How can you forget what you named your ship? Come on,
I don't know, man.
Messed up.
There's not a lot of space up here, and it's occupied by a bunch of garbage.
I get that. I get
Yeah,
that.
it's a problem. Anyway, Helldivers 2, excellent game, taking the internet by storm. We have seen more and more player base. We've seen fun additions to the game in terms of like permanent changes to the map. We've seen some additions of stratagems. If you have not listened to this podcast before, what are you doing if you haven't, first of all? But second of all, you probably haven't heard us talk about this game. Helldivers is a third-person squad-based, I don't know, tactical shooter, sure, yeah. Where you have stratagems are essentially these like big weapons you can utilize on the map, either called down to carry something with you like a machine gun, or orbital shots from your ship above, or a turret, or any number of things to sort of change the battlefield dynamics. And you do that by pressing a fun little activate stratagem button and then pushing a whole bunch of arrows really, really fast. If you don't have a macro, which if you do, you're dead to me. But you push a bunch of buttons really, really fast, activate your stratagem, toss it out on the field, and then destroy a bunch of Terminids or automatons. And spread democracy and freedom. And it's an excellent game that we've all been playing, but I kind of want to get you guys' opinions on like where we're at right now in the game, where you feel like we're headed, things you're excited about.
There has been talk, I don't know if this is real, but there's been talk of people seeing blue sniper beams recently.
Blue lasers.
Blue lasers. They've been talking about the Illuminate coming back.
Yeah.
And people have been hushing it up, maybe, as like a Super Earth is actually hushing it up, so nobody knows.
Flying enemies. In the
flying
game as well.
enemies. I heard about that.
There's been multiple videos and footage.
In the game, in like the news feed, there's been like propaganda about people spotting Illuminate and then talking about why they're dumb.
Propaganda. Alex.
Okay, yeah. It's just the truth, I guess.
It's news. It's the truth, yes. I don't want to hear that P word.
Talking about insane citizens that think they have seen Illuminate, which couldn't possibly be a thing.
Yeah. I don't know. I love team-based tactical shooters. It's kind of like, it's definitely right up my alley. I love Helldivers. I loved the first game. I loved it so much.
Yeah.
I was just so happy that when this game came out, it was as good as it was.
Yeah. Phenomenal, man.
I kind of knew it was like finishing the tutorial. They're like, here's the machine gun, get the flag and take it to the thing to get your cape. And I'm like, because every Helldiver wears a cape and everyone obsesses over the cape. And you're just like shooting all these bugs that are just coming out of these little tubes, and the music is just swelling. I just had a big smile on my face because the tutorial in Helldivers 2 is the exact same tutorial as in Helldivers 1. Like, down to everything. And it's just in third person.
Excellent.
I feel like we just know what's good. Like we're trendsetters because this has happened like several times where that we've been like really into the first game and it's not that big, and then the second one comes out and takes the internet by storm.
I'm just happy.
And we're like, yeah. So like Risk of Rain 1, Risk of
I
Rain
knew
2
you were
happened.
gonna say Risk of Rain.
We
I knew it.
freaking-
The moment you said we're trendsetters, I knew Risk of Rain was coming
Supersonic
up.
acrobatic rocket powered battle
Oh,
cars.
come on, man.
Frank and I played so much of that, and then
Yeah.
Rocket League came out with a more pronounceable name, and it was all over the place.
I don't know what your qualms were with supersonic acrobatic rock power battle cars, but
Such
Rolls
an
off
excellent
the
name.
I mean the theme song was good too. Look it up. Helldivers 2 still to this day. Every time that I launch into a mission, I still get chills from the music and I get amped.
Every time.
Nothing like launching down to a planet in a giant bullet.
Yep.
They did such a good job with that sting that happens
Oh, dude.
when it
Mhm.
launches.
Or when you
Mhm.
enter the hell pod. So good.
Mhm.
Yep.
The two TikTok video formats that I get a lot of that I love. One of them is what's his name? King of Queens guy.
Kevin James.
Yeah, Kevin James. Thank you.
Kevin James.
When he's announcing at the Daytona 500, he's like, "Only got 3 things to say: God bless our troops, God bless America, and gentlemen." And it like starts, you like launch the hell pods out of your ship, headed down to the planet. Just I can see it right now. I'm getting so excited, man, guys. Just gives me tingles. The other thing is there's this one guy that I keep seeing, and he's always like, "All right, that was a good one. I think I got to get off. Oh shoot, it's like 6 a.m. Yeah, I got time for one more." Or it'll be like time for him to go to work, and he'll call in and be like, "Hey, I'm not feeling real great today. I think I'm gonna have to stay home sick." Hang up the phone. "All right, boys, we're dropping. And I just that is the vibe I get from this game. It is very much just like you get onto your ship, you get ready to launch in the pods, you hear the music roaring, and it's just like it gets you pumped. I'm right there with you, Frank. Every single time, I'm so pumped.
I mean, it's also I think that they like the setting and everything is simplified enough that they didn't take it to the extreme as far as like everything is on the nose as far as like, yeah, we're like the bad guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But nobody says that. Like
No.
Yeah.
nobody says it. Like everyone is
I've
role
heard
playing.
there's a small subreddit of traders looking to start a revolution or something.
I mean that they won't last long. But like it's taken my work office by storm, and so I'll just hear people like be like, "Yo, man, like I was playing Helldivers last night," and I was like, "Yo, were you diving? You hitting the creek?" And he's like, "Yeah, man, I was at the creek." And just the fact that there's already like stories and stuff being written, like the first battle of Malevelon Creek.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize the first time that we all, like 4 of us dropped onto the automaton front, which is the first time I had fought them, was on Malevelon Creek. So
Freaking
I didn't
jungle,
even,
man. That thing is.
I didn't even, dude. That
Yeah,
place is hellish.
Mhm.
Amazing.
It was that meme that I saw where it was like the trees are speaking binary. And I was like, it was exactly how my first encounter went.
Dude, last night, I was trying to go for the last 2 bases, and I was like, dude, I think I hear some bots in these trees. And then, like, Caleb died to, like, a grenade or something. But I, like, walk forward to try to see where this robot is, and I have, like, 5 bots just come out of the trees surrounding me. Like, go.
It's like the stories and the moments are endless. Like last night, me and Frank casually jogging along the shoreline. Chad wades away across the water. We look over, just a wall of red lasers going past Chad. So many.
it was just a solid red line going across the water, and then you just see Chad's little emblem as it's like just slowly floating across the river because it's up to his chest, and he's like,
Gosh.
I was
So
like,
funny.
dude, I honestly have no idea how you did not die running across that river. It was such a wide river.
The emergent gameplay moments, like the weird physics interactions that happen, and just like
dude, like when you get hit hard, you feel it.
yeah,
Like you get hit hard and you're still alive, and you get hit by like a rocket, and you just immediately like slam into a wall. You're like, oh fuck.
the other day I got hit so hard that I got flung off of the map into the ocean, but didn't die, but then died because I drowned.
The worst is when it knocks you so far out of the map that you don't have time to get back, and then you get deemed a traitor, and they just launch shells at you from the ship.
They start doing that. You just keep on running. Just
Yeah,
run
you
into,
run into the enemies. Oh yeah.
Use it to your advantage.
Mhm.
I think the biggest thing is even whether or not he's like a real person, the concept that there's a game master at Arrowhead that is like running all these things is also causing a lot of engagement. Just people like just thinking like, what's going to happen next? Like, and the fact that this is like the first war, because it always just resets. I feel like this one's special. I feel like it'll really mean something, like whether or not we win or lose.
I mean, they've made enough traction with this game. They might keep this going. Keep this interest up through these.
Yeah, I wonder how different it'll be
wars.
from the first game because of how much more successful it is. Like, will we just get constantly new content? Well, you know, what kind of stuff are they going to add to the game? Is there going to be, you know, new modes eventually? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So far, they've been rolling stuff out at a really good clip. They got like new environmental effects, new mission types, a new war bond now.
Yeah, like they literally created a mission type just for a major order.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which is like a weekly quest. That isn't always weekly, but
Close.
nor are
how
the
the war's
dailies.
going.
Yeah, it really depends on that.
The new one's like a 2-day order to take over 2 entire sectors or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah, we gotta take was it 3 planets to get to 2 planets that we need to take over in 2 days.
Achievable.
A lot of negative feedback from the balance changes, but after playing it, it's the breaker still feels like it's overpowered. I mean, the stratagems still kind of do the same as they've done.
The thing is that it has not changed the gameplay loop of, you know, when you guys are on top of it, and you know when you're not.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if you're bringing the meme build or a crappy build. That can definitely make a difference. Granted, it's like
Yeah,
we have like
people try
5
to bring
chargers.
the jetpack.
Those people.
I think the difference post nerfs is that I feel like I can pick like a whole bunch of different stuff now, whereas before it was like I gotta take these couple of things because they're the best things.
I literally only used the breaker up until the patch where they nerfed it a tiny bit, and then like I've just
railgun every single
around.
mission.
Yep. Railgun, shield pack.
And now it's
Now,
like I
mind
got
you-
options again.
people were all using the railgun because I was meta, but I was always using the meats. The meats
Yeah.
are so good.
Eats are good.
Eats are really good.
Very good.
Yeah. I think like the concept of like the team weapons, like the recoilless rifle and autocannon is technically supposed to be, but you can really use it. It's pretty self-sufficient.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they need to work on it a little bit. One person made one comment where it was like, why would the person that's loading the rockets into the recoilless rifle wear the backpack? You have to reach behind you to grab a rocket. Why wouldn't you just grab it off of the person's back that has the rocket and shove it in there?
Yeah, anybody should be able to load you.
Yeah. And I was like, that would change it completely. That would totally make the thing viable, because
Yeah,
when
somebody
people throw-
reload me instead of like,
instead
hey,
of like,
Chad,
holy
you have
shit,
the backpack. Come to me. Like,
yeah, Chad, and then you hear the death sound, the whoop bump,
Yep.
and then you just see Chad's body falling, and you're like, there goes my pack.
It would give you the option to be able to reload yourself much more slowly, or wait for somebody to come over and do it for you.
I mean, you can do that now.
Can you reload yourself with the
yeah.
Recoilless
It's very
rifle,
the
yeah.
recoilless?
But it is slow.
I think people opt to do that because it honestly takes longer to get somebody to run over to you to reload than to just reload, like take cover reload.
Yeah, I mean the times you want it is when you're wanting to fire more than one rocket.
Right. The mission where you were like trying to save the scientists, the one that was like really hard that everybody was complaining about. If you actually used the recoilless on that and had somebody reloading you, you could take out the drop shifts before they even touch down. So that's how people were getting past those levels, which was a really cool strategy. I mean, it's like adapting to the situation of way too many drop ships.
Yep.
So
Just like in real war, we take our tools and we find other ways to use them.
Yep.
I saw some leaks talking about some vehicles. I saw a video of one of the Pelican drop ships dropping off like a Jeep, like a 4-man Jeep with a machine gun in it.
That'd be sick.
And like,
Good
I mean, in
times.
the first Helldivers, there was a tank. There was a motorcycle with a sidecar.
Make it control like the Warthog.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Although
Although
Pelican.
I have a feeling, just like the mechs that are out there right now, where it's like, yep, these are really powerful, these are really useful, but man, if you get stuck in the wrong situation, they are your worst nightmare. Because it's like, I can't get out of the car.
Yeah.
there's an AT-AT leak.
Yes. I saw that. I don't know how I feel about it. I would rather have like a huge mecha cyborg man instead of like a mechanical bile titan or 4-legged creature.
Yeah.
I feel like this is bigger than the ship that drops it off.
It's probably like a transformer or something.
Ooh, we should get Megazords.
What if it is just the ship that drops? Like the ship
The
comes
ship just
down,
transforms.
and then it just transforms with some legs, and then like starts walking towards you. Only has
Somebody-
enough fuel to touch down.
Even though like the Pelican coming in and dropping off the mech is a really cool detail and is like, just adds a little bit more to the atmosphere. You're just looking at it when you're sitting there at extract with like a minute left and you're being overwhelmed and you're like, thanks. And then it just flies away. It's like, I'll be back. Like it even when it shows up to drop, but
That's not the one that can carry people. That's the one that can carry a mech.
That one doesn't have seatbelts built in, and that's a safety issue,
Yeah.
safety concern.
we get shot out of a ship in a metal can.
Regulations.
Yeah, it's against regulations. Sorry, you can't. Gotta have seatbelts.
I also love the emotes. I think that's also great.
Yeah, it's
There's
nice. Mid mission, somebody opens a bunker with you, and you're playing with randos, and you can just like
Yep.
fist bump them.
Go for the hug.
Apparently, if somebody's wearing the shield and you hug them, you're inside the shield during that. So people will like drop a 500 kilogram or whatever it's called, and just hug the other person and just save from it through the shield.
Yep.
Heck yeah.
Yep. It's those small details.
Mm-hmm.
I also feel like the game has very good sound design, which I always think is like a very key component for a successful video game.
Yeah.
Like Left 4 Dead, the first Left 4 Dead, great sound design. We've made leaps and bounds since then, but like the music in Helldivers, like the sound, it's like no matter if I'm like surrounded, dumping a machine gun and dropping a bomb call on myself, every single noise I can identify as something good or something bad.
Mm-hmm.
And the like passive character dialogue is really good, where like I've found that like playing with people, I don't even really have to communicate, because it's like I've never encountered anyone online randomly using the microphone, but I've never had any issues communicating, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like times where a helldiver near you will be like, I need a syringe, and then you just like walk over to him and stab him, and then like
Yep.
How about
He'll-
you?
he'll
Yeah,
heal
I don't really
surprise.
communicate when I play this game either. I just throw the 500. Don't say anything.
yeah, my eyebrows get singed off, and then I have to make the comment of, oh, by the way, throw in the 500.
Back it up. Back it up, Terry. Back it up. I say that way too much, but
Man, one of my favorite just tiny details in that game, you're getting ready to throw a stratagem out and you die, it just falls out of your hand and it's on the ground there. Forget about it. Suddenly there's a 500 kilogram going off right next to your buddies.
Yeah.
Great.
that's yeah, there's nothing better. I had that happen today where it was like I went and somebody, what was it? It was a brood commander on the bug side, like charged me right as I'm like reeling forward. He just hits me, so it just kind of like just a little lob up in the air and just lands right in front of me. And I was like, this cluster bomb's gonna be fun. But yeah, great game. I hope the popularity continues.
Yeah.
I hope that I don't know. I'm like kind of concerned with the rate of what they're pushing out for content, because it's like, guys, take a break. Unless they already had that stuff like 90% and are kind of like holding on to it. But
Mhm.
Yeah, we'll see how much it keeps up.
those guys deserve rest. They worked
Yeah.
hard. They did great work.
Great game.
So,
Frank, what else you been playing?
played the crap out of Marvel Midnight Suns.
You love it?
I loved that game. I did not think that I would. I was looking for XCOM-like games, which I randomly do as a Google search from time to time, just to see, what's good. I saw that come up, and they were like, "Oh yeah, it's from Firaxis, developers of XCOM." I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, check it out." And then I was like, "Oh, it's a card-based game? Oh, I don't know about this." But then I gave it a chance. I got into it, and I was like, "This is a really cool system." It also has a really good system of systems where it's not just doing fights constantly. There's like, oh, you do this. Kind of like the Persona games where it's like, oh, you go into the dungeon and you fight the dungeon and there's things to do there. Then you get out of that. Then you go to class. But then there's after school activities and all that stuff. But you can only do one a day. So that definitely broke it up a bit. The dialogue was like not that great, but it was like, I don't know, felt like a good comic book. But they added in some DLC, some additional X-Men characters, which was exciting. And then they added in Morbius.
Heck yeah, dude.
Morbid
Hashtag-
time, huh?
It's Morbin time, baby.
He's
He
the
was
best
actually-
one, right?
He's actually a really cool hero in that game. His abilities are pretty neat.
Are they not just
Um,
like blades? Significantly different?
It's kind of like a twist, to where it's all about, it's kind of like taking Blade and the Hulk and combining them together, where it's like the Hulk, you want him to get hit so he gets madder. With Morbius, you don't want him to get hit so you don't interrupt his combo. Or wait, no, that's Deadpool. I'm thinking of Deadpool. Deadpool's friggin' thing, his whole thing was great. Then there was Storm. They had a Storm in, like she's cool. So yeah, if you're looking for a nice tactical turn-based game that allows you to customize a lot of your stuff, check out Midnight Suns.
I love the combat in that game. The rest of it doesn't really do it for me, but the combat is exceptional.
Yeah, no, I
Very
skipped
fun.
right through all the dialogue. Like
Yeah.
I'm like, uh-huh.
Even like the story and the missions, I feel like, gosh, it kind of drags a lot. I feel like.
Yeah. I'm like, why are we here? I don't care. I have
So-
Spider-Man, Wolverine, and like the Hulk about to go kill some vampires. Yeah, let's go. It's good stuff.
You waiting for Midnight Suns: The Long War now?
A long war?
Yeah.
No, never again, dude. I got stomped so hard in my long war campaign that I was like, I can't play XCOM for like 2 years.
I feel like that's how long the Long War lasted.
Dude. Brutal. Chad,
Yep.
how about you? What have you been playing?
Been playing like one game.
Just one
Is World of Warcraft. Mostly WoW Classic, Season of Discovery, but I've already talked about that a lot. So, WoW came out with a Battle Royale randomly. It was a random patch that they did with like it was just all, it was literally, I was like looking on TikTok, of course, and browsing through it, and boom, WoW was there. But then I was like, I've never seen this version of WoW before. And then I saw the content creator die and go back to lobby and queue up for another match, and I was like, what is happening? So yeah, it's WoW Battle Royale. You create your character. It's totally separate from all the other servers. You don't have to level it up. You go in, you drop in, fight random mobs, loot up treasure chests. You get like 2 utilities, 2 attacks. You have like a heal that you can use that's on like a 30-second cooldown. And then you just have fights with people.
Is it like completely separate from like the class system in the game, or
Yeah, and it's just
Like, you don't-
you
like you
your
don't
auto
choose a
attack
mage
does
and you have mage
damage.
skills?
It seems, I have to look deeper. I only played like a little bit of it, but I think if you, whatever character you choose, so like Tauren or human or blood elf or those will give you different abilities for attacking. I'm not sure, or it's just a cycle of the same attacks. I've only played like 3 or 4 matches, so I wanted to quickly get onto it and see what it was all about right before the podcast started. So
You're not going to run around with like 30 skills on your bar.
yeah, no, your UI is very clean. There's two skills on your left side, which is your auto attack and your heal, and then you have 1 through 5, and that's it. There's nothing else. There's no mod support. It's just what you see is what you get.
Interesting.
Yeah, everyone's a blank slate, no classes.
I feel like it would be really cool if you took the entire World of Warcraft map and then just had the circle and then just started having it go smaller and smaller and it'd just be flat WoW. Like multiple hot bars,
Yeah,
potions.
So this is a mode that's in retail, meaning you have to have a retail.
it seems like you do
subscription?
have to have a subscription, yes, because the rewards are gonna go towards your retail character and or your classic character. Not Season of Discovery. It's gonna be like the Wrath Kata reward. Like we'll get rewards for that, I guess.
So do you like
Interesting.
jump in on off the plane on like mounts,
So
flying mounts, or
you get cannonballed, and then there's like a flying bird mount that you, like a parrot that you like fly down on.
okay,
It's pirate themed, right? I think I read
Yeah,
that.
it's pirate themed.
okay.
Yeah. I had a pretty sick 1v1. I mean, these fights go long. You're jumping away from each other. Everybody has a double jump. Jumping away from each other, chugging the barrel to stay alive, using different skills against each other. The fight got nuts. It went on for like a good 2 minutes of just mashing keys trying to get this guy killed.
Did you win?
Oh yeah, I won that 1v1, but the next
Oh,
1v1 I came across did not win it.
It's,
But yes, currently, thank you. In the game, there are solo and duos. That is the modes that they have right now.
Oh, okay.
It's PvEVP?
Yeah, it is PvEVP. Because when you're killing the monsters and stuff, you can pick up some of the.
Do you extract at the end? Or is it just a win?
I
If you
haven't
kill
gotten that
everybody.
far. I've
Okay.
lost really early. I've only
Wow,
played like
not
2
even a real gamer.
matches.
Okay.
Wow.
What sort of stratagems can you call in?
500.
It's just a win at the end. Okay.
Good game.
That's not okay.
Is this going to be like your new thing? You're going to invest hundreds of hours into WoW
It seems interesting, but honestly, I don't know if I'm good enough at WoW to actually make this consistent. Also, we don't know. Since it just dropped, and they haven't really said much about it other than like, hey, play it. We don't know if this is like a seasonal thing or like,
it's going to be like a thing they take away.
Yeah, they
bring
take
back on
away at the
occasion.
end. Yeah, so
They do that with other modes. That seems weird.
Just vault that content.
Yeah.
Hey, man. Destiny used to have sparrow racing.
Man.
Never brought it
Good
back for
times.
D2.
Maybe they'll put in hoverboard racing.
There's hoverboards in D2 now. Didn't hear that.
I did.
Hoverboards.
I did.
So
My brothers are still playing it to this day.
we still gotta do the raid sometime.
Mm-hmm.
Heck yeah.
Another game that I have dumped some hours into is Final Fantasy VII Remake, integrated, whatever you hire. So that basically was the Final Fantasy VII Remake plus the DLC. So picked it up, played the 40-something hours of the single-player campaign. Did it before last Thursday, thinking that there was going to be a podcast going or something like that. That didn't happen. Loved it. Picked up Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. So now I gotta start playing through that. So Rebirth. If I had to like rate these games, I'd say like Final Fantasy VII from somebody who's never actually played the OGs before, doesn't really know the story. Story was like 7 out of 10. Gameplay is like 7 out of 10. I think world building, like the exploration and just scenery and stuff like that, 7 out of 10. So like a solid 7 out of 10. Coming to Rebirth, I'm already giving it a 9 out of 10. Just right out the gate. Like,
Dang.
it's probably going to push into the 10 out of 10 for me.
Wow.
This will be on my Game of the Year list. Like, what they have done with this game compared to the first, like, amazing. I shouted out at Caitlin like 5 or 6 different times, look at the colors. This is an
so Owen
Owen's
like
game.
this
Owen's
one.
game.
Yeah.
This is Owen's game right here. Which it makes sense though if you actually understand this the first game's story. It's very green, washed out, grayish looking. I mean, you're in Midgar, so like you understand that it's supposed to look like that. And then Rebirth, you're like kind of branching out from that, and there's these vast lands that you're looking at. You're actually seeing the world of Final Fantasy and all the colors that come with it, and it's just so pretty, especially on my OLED TV. Oh my god, it's so pretty.
How important is it to play Remake before Rebirth?
And
Wow.
Because that's a lot to ask.
yeah, I would at least say watch a playthrough. I
Watch
think
a
I think
whole playthrough?
nah, cutscenes, like cutscenes,
Wow.
obviously. It's a JRPG, so obviously like most of the story happens during the cutscenes.
I wonder how many hours of cutscenes are in that game.
Do you
watching it on the
I mean,
playback.
do you know the story of Final Fantasy VII?
Nope.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean it's definitely this is the same concept in my opinion of like Dune 1, Dune 2. Like Dune 1 laid the foundation. So Final Fantasy VII Remake definitely like it introduces you to the characters, lays the foundation. It is a long game. So like but man, it was good. And it just ramped up the DLC. Like at first I was like, okay, so the DLC is going to be different characters. Like I always hate kind of going into that style of game because like I liked Cloud, I liked playing as Cloud, I liked Tifa, I liked Barrett, like I liked those characters, and I spent like 40, 50 hours with these characters, and now you're asking me in a DLC to go and play some other character, like just random character that you're introducing. But I kind of pushed past that, and the combat system that they introduce, like the things that they kind of just build off of from the foundation of Remake, wonderful. It's just so good. It's like the things that they are implementing and the DLC, and then the things that they even go further on and implement into Rebirth with the fighting system and all of that. It's just like, it's so creative and just excellent.
We have a video. It's 11.5 hours long, all cutscenes.
Oh gosh,
Saw the same one.
that's so long.
There's
Man.
another video that's all cutscenes plus story relevant gameplay parts. That's 14 hours, 45 minutes.
So don't play the game. Just watch the cutscenes.
Yeah.
When are they going to make a friggin' awesome, amazing Chrono Trigger remake? When are they going to modernize that shit? Huh? Where's my Frog Knight?
Who owns that?
I don't know.
It was a Square Enix
Was it
published
Square?
game.
Was
Yeah,
it?
Pretty sure.
Maybe after they get the third Final Fantasy VII out.
So that was the thing, is like, I feel like every time I look at the podcast, there's something about Final Fantasy VII. And I feel like every time I look at the Steam store page or just anything, every couple months, they're like, Final Fantasy VII, Remake 2, Rebirth, Insurgence. And I'm like, they're doing that thing. I don't know what you call it, but they're doing that Kingdom Hearts thing where I'm like, didn't that
Yeah.
come out? They're like, no, this is different.
This is
So
different.
it's a new game. They're like, no, it's like the same game, but they like redid the storyline. They made things. It plays totally different. So it's a different story. No, I mean it's pretty much the same. But and I'm like, so which one do I play? They're like, oh, definitely the one 2 versions ago. That one was where it was at.
You also got Crisis Core, Final Fantasy VII Reunion,
Yes.
which is a remake of the PSP game set in the Final Fantasy VII universe.
Yo, I also tried going back and play Chris Chronicles the other day. That game is trash.
Oh no.
Game is hot trash.
Oh no.
Yeah,
It's rough gameplay.
Kalen's in the chat saying that if you spark note Final Fantasy VII story, I kind of agree with her. I don't know why you would need an 11-hour video. If I think back to like the highlights of Final Fantasy VII, I
Yeah,
bet you
there's
there's a
probably a
shorter
much
video
shorter
somewhere
recap.
that you could just like get a recap of what happened and then just go into Rebirth.
That's probably
The
what
only
I'll
thing
do.
that I think you will kind of lose out on is just the character growth that all of them had, because I mean you're still
Mhm.
playing as them, and it's like the whole group and the synergy that they have, and like
You won't get to know and love them all.
yeah.
No, I'll just have to do that during Rebirth.
They'll just be names on a page.
Wow.
Numbers.
Just numbers on a sheet. We're all just
Numbers
numbers
on a
on a sheet, guys.
That's exactly what we are.
Final Fantasy numbers on a sheet.
Alex, how about you? What have you been playing?
Sure. I have a couple quick ones just to update. I finished Prince of Persia, excellent Metroidvania game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just a blast all the way through. So polished. Such a good experience. I also played the Portal Revolution, the fan-made campaign for Portal 2 that released some months ago. I thought it was excellent. It's extremely competent. Like, if you didn't know it was fan-made, like, it could pass as like a lesser, like, it's not Valve polished, but it's like you could see this being released as like a paid title, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Just good ideas for puzzles, good use of like characters. They introduced 2 new characters and they're fully voiced and everything. It's great, I think. And the last thing on this list is, just before the podcast started, I played through Sheepy, a short adventure, which was indeed a very short adventure. It took me about 45 minutes to play through it. But it is a free game on Steam. It was brought to my attention by Caleb that it was kind of going viral. It has like overwhelmingly positive reviews. It's a cute little sheep that you play through this little short story. It's a platformer. You get a couple of abilities throughout the story. It's got like really good environmental storytelling, really good pixel art, and the audio design's really good. It does a good job of like endearing you to the world and to the character in a very short amount of time, and telling you just like a cool little short tale that is over almost as soon as it starts. There are some secrets in there that I have not found yet that I could go back and get. I don't know if I'll do that, but I think for like 100%, it probably takes a little over an hour. Yeah, it's a cool little shout out for that.
Nice.
Cool.
Nice little free game on Steam.
Well, I have nothing to talk about because I've only been playing Helldivers and another game which we're going to wait on Ben to talk about because I took it off the group list. So we'll move on to the last but not least. Caleb, what have you been playing?
Other than Helldivers, I've been playing some Persona 5 Royal. So Jake has been hounding me to play this game for literally years. So I finally picked it up, started playing it.
Now that you're not shaving anymore, you're like, I found some free time.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's really stinking good. The combat's a blast. I'm like 45 hours and it's still adding new mechanics to the combat occasionally. So it's keeping it fresh there. Just hanging out with people, so much fun. The dialogue's really well written. The voice acting is excellent. Really, really good. I'm listening to the English voices. I don't know how good the Japanese voices are, I suppose.
Probably good.
The dub, really, really good. And I've just been having a ton of fun with it. I think I'm only like a third of the way through.
45 hours in.
Yep.
That is wild. That game is an
Jesus.
investment. Holy crap.
Oh, man.
Yeah. But it's so much fun. Just hanging out with everybody and doing all the activities around town is just a blast. It's great. Highly recommend.
Maybe someday.
Yeah.
It's a big investment. It's a really big investment.
Yeah.
Nice. Good games all around. I think we will be back in... will we be back in 2 weeks? Can't think. Yeah, we'll be back in 2 weeks. We have another podcast 2 weeks. I have some people who have maybe bring some things back from PAX East. We'll see. I don't know. Show floor is looking pretty...
That'll be April, so it'll be safe.
Well,
Pretty
April
slim.
4th.
Pretty slim. And yeah, it'll be April, so there'll be less stuff going on, which will be quite refreshing. Oh, Frank, you're muted. I don't know what you're saying, unless you're not talking to us.
I said that I'll be scalping tickets for PAX East in case you need to get in. So just at me, email me on WebZone if you want to get into PAX.
Only $600 for the 4-day?
The price is negotiable.
Negotiable.
I also take trade.
Price for badges that are currently still for sale on...
Yeah. Saturday badges he's selling.
Oh, you're selling Saturday badges. Got
Saturday
it.
badges.
No. I'm like
The whole thing.
my whole like clientele base for that whole thing is like moms that are just getting dragged to it by the kids. They don't know what's going on.
It's okay.
Like, Mom, let's go to PAX. And then they show up, they're like, wow, what is going on? And then it's like, ma'am, do you need to get in? You have $500.
Thursday of all days is low inventory right now.
Wow.
Interesting.
Okay.
Trying to
Good
hit
to know.
that, trying to hit the floor, see all the
Early.
stuff.
Yeah, get the big games first.
Usually Thursday's like the
This,
best day. It's just like nobody there.
Yeah.
This is one of the first years that we haven't really had a pre-PAX cast.
We didn't have one last year either, I don't think. I think we kind of stopped doing that because we had like a smaller group that went. So we kind of just turned that off. But anyway, hopefully we'll be back in 2 weeks with some cool new games to talk about. Maybe go to a
post-PAX
couple
cast?
panels. Yeah, post-PAX casts. That might, like a little segment maybe in our normal podcast.
We'll have something
we'll
to
do.
talk about, I'm sure.
But tough segment to do.
Yeah.
No longer
A
doing
PPPC?
pre-PP, but we're doing post-PP.
Post-PP. Yep. Post-PP. Exactly.
PPPC followed by CCCP.
Correct. Thank you, Frank. We're going to coin that. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Get it trademarked, registered trademark, get a little R circle right at the end.
I feel like there's some legal actions there. Maybe.
Maybe.
Okay.
Listen, the Communist Party has been dispersed. They can't take any legal action against us.
That's right. We'll be fine. Anyway, thanks so much for joining us. We will catch you next time. See ya.
Bye. Bye.